Hello, I'm Sam from Jessup Says. The focus of my channel is to share and educate on how to buy less, buy better. It's not necessarily about buying less things, it's about buying something that fits its purpose perfectly and serves you for as long as possible. Now, a few weeks ago, it dawned on me that I literally had no shorts that I could swim in. I had a pair of speedos, but that wasn't really the right vibe for what I was looking for. See, my wife and I had a holiday booked in Phuket, Thailand, at a resort. And in my opinion, there's nothing better than waking up in the morning to a 25-degree heat and rolling straight into the pool to cool off. Actually, I'm writing and filming this the week I get back from that holiday, and I can tell you now that it was a truly beautiful and fun experience, and that's pretty much exactly what I did every day. But I didn't have anything to fit that purpose. So I decided to find out what style I wanted and buy something to fit that style. As you may know, I think that Ivy League is a pretty great style. I think that that sort of time period has a great balance of formal and casual looks, and the cuts really suit my body and my style. Specifically when looking for a swim short, I didn't want anything that looked too much like a board short. I personally find them a bit impossible to wear for anything other than to and from the pool. So I decided that I wanted something in a plain navy, no labels, no graphics, nothing like that. Also, I wanted something that was a bit shorter than a board short. As a fairly short guy, I really wanted a 5-inch inseam, and boy, am I glad that I did. So I started to look for a 5-inch inseam, fairly plain navy colored short that was suitable to swim in. To be honest, it really didn't take me that long to find out about what most people considered to be exactly what I was looking for. And that was, of course, the Patagonia men's baggies in 5-inch inseam. So let's get into those baggies. Starting off with the marketing material from the website. They are described as rugged, multifunctional shorts designed for use in and out of water. Made with quick drying net plus 100% post-consumer recycled nylon and made from recycled fishing nets to help reduce the ocean's plastic pollution. The inseam is of course 5 inches and the shorts are fair trade certified sewn. Of course, we'll get into what all that means a bit later on. Breaking down the features, they feature an adjustable waist, pocket details, they have a 5-inch inseam, they are fair trade certified, they are made in Nicaragua, they weigh 204 grams or about 7.2 ounces. The materials are as follows. Most of the shorts are made from a 4-ply, 4.9 ounce net plus 100% recycled nylon with a PFC-free DWR finish, which is a durable water repellent coating that doesn't contain any sort of harmful chemicals in it. The lining and pocket bags are 2.1 ounce polyester, which is also recycled. That's a lot of certifications that we don't typically see on this channel or on sartorial products in general, so I've not really ever thought or talked about them. The relevance of that information depends on your worldview, but for me personally, I love transparency and I love to know where and how my things are made. So in that way, Patagonia are definitely world leading. I do worry about greenwashing, and if they're doing exactly what they say, or they're just putting a bunch of fancy names and logos onto their product and telling us that they're doing good things. So I first wanted to address that element, and I thought a good place to start would be to identify what exactly greenwashing is. Some people consider this to be a potentially sensitive topic, so I decided to find an official definition from the internet. I got the definition from Investopedia, written by a man named Will Kenton, and I think he does a pretty good job explaining it. Greenwashing is the process of conveying a false impression or providing misleading information about how a company's products are environmentally more sound. Greenwashing is considered an unsubstantiated claim to deceive its customers into believing that a company's products are environmentally friendly. For example, companies involved in greenwashing behavior might make claims that their products are made from recycled materials or have energy-saving benefits. Although some environmental claims may be partly true, companies engaged in greenwashing typically exaggerate these claims and the benefits that these claims are made in an attempt to mislead customers. So is Patagonia greenwashing, or are they doing what they say? Well, starting off with fair trade, which seems to be a fairly large element of their offering. Fair trade is a fairly well-known program that's been going for a long time. Patagonia have been working with fair trade and making clothing with them since 2014. Again, according to their website, they offer more fair trade certified clothing styles, yes, clothing styles, than any other brand in the world. Now, I'm not sure what this means in terms of the number of items they produce, but they do say that they've impacted 75,000 workers in 10 different countries. This fairly vague language that is often associated with these outreach charities like fair trade is often what leads me to suspect an element of greenwashing. They aren't completely transparent about what exactly they are doing. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of the point, and transparency is the point, so yeah, anyway, moving on. The point as far as it relates to fair trade in this context seems to be that the claim that they offer a living wage standard, or try to work towards that. Once again, on the website, they say that as of 2020, 39% or 12 out of 31 of their apparel factories are paying their workers a living wage on average. If you're wondering, like I did, if this means anything or not, I found a report by the University of London about fair trade in Uganda and Ethiopia. They found that the wages in fair trade certified markets were very low. The report observed that there was inadequate monitoring of pay and conditions by certification schemes. Wages were usually lower than those in producers without the fair trade certification in the same area working on the same crop. Now, that's obviously speaking about crops, and we're talking about manufacturing, but I thought that was quite interesting to know. Also interesting to know is that nowhere online is there any mention of what is considered a living wage in terms of dollar value, or any specifics at all that I can find, which is disappointing from a company that seems to be so transparent. I don't want to be cynical, but if a living wage isn't defined, then these bodies can just self-govern and say that a living wage is $1 a day, and then give themselves a good old pat on the back and slap some logos on the website, and there you go, job done. In saying all of that, I do believe that the owner of Patagonia, or rather the man who used to own Patagonia, does genuinely care about the world and the future of our world, which has impacted the ways that they're trying to improve the ways that they manufacture, which is something that I do care about. The fact that Patagonia now have less than 40% of their factories claiming this status as fair trade certified is to me an obvious statement that they know that they have room to improve. Add to this that recently the owner of Patagonia basically sold the company's future profits, saying that the earth is now their only shareholder, where it seems like all of their profits are going to be invested in the earth in yet to be known or yet to be seen ways, as far as I can find. But I have come to believe that they really are trying to do the right thing, even if no one really knows exactly how. Patagonia do a few other things outside of that fair trade agreement, but the one that I love most, specifically for these baggies, is the Net Plus fabric, which is made from recycled fishing nets. It is made from, again, 100% discarded fishing nets, which are collected from fishing communities in South America. The pollution in our sea, specifically that caused from discarded nets of commercial fishing, is immense. So anything we can do to remove that and reduce that is quite lovely, and I really love that element of their mission. So, onto the shorts. The baggies, how do they fit? Well, I really love the fit. For a shorter guy like me, who is about 174 centimeters tall, the 5-inch inseam is literally perfection. It sits well above my knee, but not so high that it looks like I'm wearing a pair of stubbies, which is a common Kiwi or Australian short, and the short of choice. The fit for my thighs and bum is really good as well. There's plenty of space to move around for any water sports without any issues. I tested them on a stand-up paddleboard, all around the resort, in the pool, the sea, and of course while eating copious amounts of food, and they were consistently comfortable. The fit is good, but I think the fabric is really where these shorts prove themselves to be fantastically versatile. In my experience, they are, again, extremely comfortable, but in extremely hot weather, like 30+ degrees, they were really nice. They also have a very good water repellent layer on them. I found that in both pool water and in the sea, they dried extremely quickly, likely due to that DWR finish that we talked about earlier, though, you know, it was pretty warm, so everything dried pretty quickly. They're of course made from that recycled nylon, and that's also mixed with a post-industrial waste fiber, which is basically leftover materials from weaving mills and post-consumer fishing nets like we talked about earlier. Patagonia chose to use nylon because it's very lightweight and strong, which makes it very long lasting. The actual yarn that they've made is a blend of 50% post-consumer and 50% pre-consumer nylon. Post-consumer materials come from things like plastic bottles, fishing nets, worn out clothes, discarded carpeting that have been bought and then used in the world and then trashed, basically thrown out. These products are typically destined for landfill. Pre-consumer, on the other hand, is waste material. It comes from industrial processes. It's like scrap material that comes off in a factory that otherwise would have been downcycled or degraded and then probably sent to a landfill. All in all, I love the material that they've used here. There's clearly an effort to make a product that's doing good for the world, but also a product that completely and fully does what it needs to suit my needs. And I really like it. It's always hard to have everything, but this fabric really does seem to do it all very, very well. To finish off the video, I wanted to quickly mention the construction, not how it's made, because from what I can tell, it's all just sewn together very cleanly, very neatly. But what I did want to mention is what Patagonia tell us about where it's made. The fabric is made by Formosa Taffeta Co. Ltd. in Thailand. We're told that they decided to work with this supplier because they engage in a range of due diligence activities to promote sustained fair labor practices, safe working conditions, and environmental responsibility in the finished goods factories, farms, and mills. They employ 2,949 workers, according to the website. The baggies are then sewn by another Formosa, but this time Formosa Textile in Nicaragua, Central America. They work with this supplier for basically the exact same reasons, copy and paste, as their Taiwan factory, and they employed 2,160 people in this factory. It's nice to know these things, but looking a little bit more deeply, it seems that they're all owned by the same company, but they do have a reputation for creating high quality fabrics, so there you go. So to wrap things up, what can I say about these Patagonia baggies? Well, on reflection, after the holiday, I am extremely glad that I purchased these before leaving. They were literally invaluable. I wore them every day and pretty much for every activity I wanted to do. In a sort of weird way, I can't imagine my holiday without these shorts. Maybe an odd thing to say, but it is true. They made it so much easier to not have to think about what to wear each time that I left the room. It might be a super privileged problem to have, but it's still a nice problem to not need to think of the solution every time you want to leave. So there you go, definitely recommended. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Links are in the description as always, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Cheers.